what you did?
I'm Nicolas Ortiz, and I got top 32 with the best deck in the game, Floowandereeze. Oof. This deck's insane. Everyone who doesn't play it is a bot.
I think it's ironic. We're both Flunder, they're both Sword Soul. Like, it's just so, like, divided.
Yeah, and they have to, like, play test so much, and we just, like...
I mean, talk for yourself. I play tested so much, and I just dropped down day one. Just get into your 31 mandatory cards.
Oh, God,
Infinitely more masquerades.
So we got the 8 standard birds.
So why not 3 toucan?
Why not 3 toucan? The guy I lost to in top got played 2 toucan. I was like, bro, you're crazy.
Yeah, that's kind of insane.
My guy lost to play 2 barriers.
I play another spicy card in my deck to make it like the low bird count worth it. We'll get into later.
Have you thought about playing more?
I played 2 street for a while, but then like you open street and you're like, this card's terrible because you have like exactly map. So we have a god card that says your opponent can't play the game.
You ever thought about playing more than one of that?
Oh God! No.
I mean, you're apparently just wrong. The guy who made top 8 played 2.
You know, that's fair. I opened this card enough already. I can't do it anymore.
Bro, my guy summoned barrier statue, and then I summoned, and then he summoned barrier statue again. I couldn't compete.
This card's broken.
I know, we had 2 of them.
Play the 4 tributes. I see 3 tributes, but like I could never go to 1 Empin. Empin just comes up so much. Like going through an Empin and then having another one for follow up next turn without having to like go through hoops of like getting rid of the first one. It's just so good. And like if I open Empin, I can like banish with Advent and get it back with Toucan. It's really not that bad.
I mean, we're dealing with like consistency issues. I want to play like 3 Empin.
Yeah, 3
Empin. Like we wanted to start maxing out like heavy tribute summons and just go crazy with unexplored wins on the opponent's turn.
Yeah, 2
just like rip the board apart.
I hate playing this card, but like people are playing evenly now, so
necessary evil.
Yeah, I just have to play. You just have to play it now. And then for the hand traps, well, 1 crow because it's 1 searchable off Verbena, and 2 is necessary for another spicy card in my deck.
You might as well just pull out the card now.
Ooh,
okay. Yeah, no, you might as well.
We're playing for this event. We played 2 copies of Jack in the Hand, which is broken. So what you always do is you reveal Verbena, Eaglin, and DD Crow, and they'll almost always take Verbena. So you either have an Eaglin, which is probably like the second best bird to open, or a DD Crow, which is like if you already have Verbena, if you like open up with Jack in the Hand, you're gonna grab Verbena, so you have DD Crow, which is like another interruption. And if you're playing against Despia exactly and you Jack in the Hand, they have to take Crow almost always, or else the brain red doesn't resolve, which means Jack in the Hand is just like 4 or 5 copies of Verbena. This card came out a lot post board because on your like 6th card, if you're going second, like this doesn't come up too much, but like whenever I won the dial when I went first, I just made sure I'm just always never bricking, and this card just helped that. You open this and it's almost with the amount of ratios of like small birds you have, you're always gonna have access to something to keep going.
I mean, theoretically, but I mean, like after coming back from Guadalajara and Colombia, like I talked with Nick about this, where my biggest concern was just consistency. So we tore down the deck and we were like playing like triple trap card, double unexplored wins, like exactly. We were playing triple Jaggedland,
double rises.
Yeah, double rises, just anything possible. Just focus on consistency, and then like Despia just slowed down so much that we could focus on a lot more of like just locking the opponent out. Just because, I mean, we kind of came to terms with just Zombie World isn't as real as we...
the card's just not real.
Yeah,
I didn't get activated on me once today.
Yeah, it only, like, it's just not a real threat anymore.
And I only bricked once today, so, like, this card helped that. And it was like, round, like, 6 or something. It just didn't matter. But, yeah, Dragon Hand was kind of insane. Yeah. And the last defensive card is just 3 Ash and 3 Shifter. This card's Exodia. It makes it just like the best card in the game. It's like this.
You want to talk about your hands?
I
would go tell them about my hands. I would have like Barry Statue Ryza, no way to play. Like the only bird I would have is Street. My opponent's playing the mirror match and he's Shifter and he banished the Shifter off Street and I just can't even play. He's like, I opened Shifter Map Bird.
Yeah, it's just like this is the only deck in the format right now where it just has like a card where you resolve, you win.
Yeah.
Like Brand Fusion is probably like up there with like cards that just resolve and you're just infinitely ahead. But like. You play this card and your opponent's board is either they're not making one or it's just like just breakable by like 1 or 2 cards with no follow up. I played 7 Sword Soul today. So and like you open Shifter against Sword Soul and they never get the Mo you draw. They're not get the Longing Burn. All of their tinnies they have to discard or whatever off Longing or gone for the game period. So like they end on like 1 negate with like a back row. Unless their hand is ridiculous, which I mean it's what the Ash is for.
Yeah, like Shishal's dead unless they got a guy in hand.
They have to neg 1 to Shishal, and if I have to have Booker Advent, it's just terrible for them. And then Ash is just like a deck concession of like I don't want to like potentially lose games where I go second, or if my opponent had one hand trap, they would pass.
I found it really ironic you were telling me about it, where like people constantly had you going first, and you're like straight up. If this was just Featherstorm, it would have been insane.
I played against 2 going second Sword Souls, and like I lost the roll, and like you can go first, and I see like Ash in my hand. I was like, if there's a Featherstorm, I just like I have 100% chance to win the game, whereas like 99 with Ash. But yeah, it's just like sometimes Brandon just has the situation sometimes where, like you Ash their Brandon Fusion, they pass.
Yeah.
So like I don't want to like not play this card and like potentially lose those games. Now granted, I didn't play any Speed at all this entire weekend, which is kind of ridiculous, but it still stands true for the reasoning. It was good when I saw it. That's it for the monsters plus Jack in the hand, and then for the spells, go.
I mean, it's a monster.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Jack is essentially a monster.
Yeah.
Play this.
Mandatory.
7 mandatory cards. There's no need explaining. These cards are broken.
Keep going.
You ever think about playing more of this?
I did play it for a while. The card puts up so much pressure when you activate it. Like it gets branded, you just activate wins, and they just have to brand into red to Guardian Chimera it away. Because if I normal an Eaglin or Rabina and I have a Tribute Summon in hand, like their branded red's going away. So this card just exerts a lot of pressure.
It literally happened to me during the tournament where I played against a Despia player, and he was just an absolute bozo.
And they just scrambled.
Yeah, like I activated that card, he summoned everything in attack mode. So like, he goes Draco Spelly on my Rabina, and I already have 3 Tribute Summons in hand. I thought my hand was an absolute brick. But like I had, Avion, Impin, and Ryza, and he lets the Rabina resolve because I book a moon after the Draco Spelly, so he's gonna try and Mirror Jade. And I summon the Impin, tribute his branded red, and just go off from there because you no longer Mirror Jade.
The only reason why you're not playing more than one is just like it's really good when you already have your engine going. But the problem is if you're able to like double unexplored wins and like not Rabina or Eaglin.
And you also need to apply that kind of pressure to Sword Soul. Yeah. Like activating that card in a sense is just obviously getting the blackout.
Yeah, you're just begging to get blackouted. Yeah. So like you really just it's one enough was good enough. Like search it if you need it.
I guess it conflicts with prosperity as well. Right?
Yeah, I don't think that's not real. It like never happens.
Tell that to the bozos who try anyway.
Yeah, but those people are just dumb.
Yeah,
it's really I get a lot of Flunder prejudice because the people who play this have an IQ of like 70, like most of the time.
What's good?
I mean, I kind of fit in that category, I guess. But like the deck requires a lot of like intricacies that people aren't willing to concede to people who play the deck. They just be like, normal Rabina.
Fair.
Yeah. That's his soapbox.
It's my one soapbox. Sorry.
Yeah.
I do
standard cards. Keep on going.
Yeah, standard. Shout out to Sebastian Sanchez. Let me borrow his prosperities.
2 YCS.
Yeah, they're not my prosperities. 2 Book of Money.
Back on that.
There's just so many times where
is this Book of Money? What is it?
It's not. It's Ultra. It's terrible.
Oh my god.
And like because Sword Soul's getting popular, Impermanent Veiler getting more popular, which kind of forces you to play this card. But it just doubles up as an interruption, like going second, being able to like book anything that they have, whether it's Shishao or Baron or anything like that, and then also being able to book your monsters that are still resolves. And going second, like if they start breaking your board, you just book them. Sometimes you just can't beat it, like all your interruptions. The card that won the YCS, and the card that searches the card that won the YCS. It's just good at having like a tertiary option to go if your main game plans just don't happen. Being able to go into this card as plan B and then just either just start poking with everything and then admin away your monsters, or just use this until you can accrue advantage. You take your phone down. It's pretty good. So. And I want track card because
standard.
I like playing like monsters.
Yeah. Map sometimes isn't good enough. Can't rely on your opponent.
It is not good enough.
Yeah. So tell them about the one play with your opponent goes normal summon Ecclesia, activate effect. They go, what is it, challenge or droplets? This is the best sequencing of plays I've ever heard in my life.
My opponent round 1 was unfamiliar with the Floowandereeze deck, and he made plays that were illegal.
Please, I need to tell him. Okay, but what was it? It was summon Ecclesia, he couldn't. Or tried to special it because of Barrier Statue. Does he go droplet?
He special Ecclesia, and then...
You're like, you can't do that.
Dropleted my statue, special Ecclesia in attack mode. Use the effect, Empin's on the field. He's like Regeki, Empin, and then Ecclesia effect Ash, and he passes.
That interaction was the best
interaction.
interaction.
Your barrier statue, but then opted to just Regeki immediately after?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't know what Empin did. Until he was unfamiliar with the cards.
All right.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, so extra deck. The only 3 cards that ever matter.
Yep.
And I didn't go to my extra deck once today. We're continuing with the trend of I've always taught with Sky Sugar cards in my deck. This card literally did nothing. And now here's the rest of my Prosperity cards. These cards always get banished off Prosperity. This card almost came up today. This card always almost comes up, and then it just doesn't.
I hear it steals seashells.
Yeah, just takes seashells permanently. Shout out to Hobby for losing a seashell. Nope. Nothing. Never. I'm waiting for this card to resolve because it was going to be so clean, but it doesn't.
What does it do?
Bounces or shuffles back. Sorry.
And you were thinking about adding Conductor?
Harpy Conductor, yeah. So there are times when my opponent minds me when I have like Barrier Statue Empin. So I'm probably just gonna play Conductor because it's the link 2 that you can link them into. For Conductor, it's a winged beast and you just set Advent Pass, and then it's a quicker way to out the mine. So I don't know. I probably take out this what is out of this Lyrelesque thing. Promenade Thrush would probably come out of the deck. And, the side deck is a triple token collector. They never respect it. When you have your board with Barrier Statue Empin, they usually have to force the droplets at the beginning so they can start playing. So when they do that, they just don't expect this card, so they moye and you just token collector them, and they just don't have the out anymore, so they pass. The only downside is it turns off your trap. Well, if I have this in my hand, I'm not going for trap, and they just think I already have trap. It happened in one of the rounds late in the tournament where they lightning storm my back row and I have trap and I just want to activate it. He's like, that's weird. And then he goes, Moye effect reveal, and I token collector him. He's like, oh, that's why. And you can see it. So, this card's really good. It's also tribute fodder. It comes up. 3 Dark Ruler. I didn't want to main it because I don't like playing cards like this in my main deck when I want to go first. But I understand the reasoning on why I need to play this card. I just felt like it wasn't necessary with all of the secondary cards I'm playing, like Ash, Mystic Mine, Shifter, Book of Moon. I felt like this card's kind of overkill. Just putting in my deck. More Mind Concessions / backer decks that I didn't play against. Speaking of Mind, this is a very fair card. And then more fair cards. The most fair card in my deck. We got the Featherstorm.
It was interesting. I heard the top 8 player wasn't even playing Featherstorm.
Yeah, so I understand his reasoning of you don't want to play a going first card because you're just already good going first. But this card is just so good to just absolutely just seal the deal.
Yeah.
You open Featherstorm with even just a subpar hand, your opponent's never winning the game.
Yeah. Even most of the time, you're gonna be heavily sided for.
Yeah,
every
people
single
side,
game.
Twin Twister, Lightning Storm, evenly matched.
Not even that. Just aggressively hand trapped.
Yeah.
If there's times maybe it's planning for this situation where you do get aggressively hand trapped. But anytime I'm going second or third, I always try and lead off with a green bird. Any kind of wind bird I can find,
yep.
I always try and lead off with that just to guarantee my plays, with the Featherstorm.
Yeah, if they hand trap you twice and you have Featherstorm, it's just fine. You have an Eagle on a field set, Featherstorm pass, you keep going, if Featherstorm blanks to your turn, and I just draw, activate another bird, and you have no hand traps anymore.
Yeah.
And you just win the game. So.
And it's even on the double set too, it's wow. Now I get to do it on my turn too.
Oh, I never double set Featherstorm. I know you love it, but I never do it.
It's risky. It sometimes is risky, but it's insane when it plays off.
That is my dueling deck for this event.
Any shoutouts?
Yeah, a shout out to Ryan for theory crafting the deck with me, even though we disagree on some key points.
It's typically only 3 cards.
Yeah, people being able to shoot theory back and forth on it just really helps build the deck and innovate it more fast.
Yeah, you showed up Thursday night and we both look at each other and we're like, I think we want to play the same list from Charlotte.
Yeah, we both independently came up with the idea we're just trying to fix something that's not broken.
Yeah, and we gravitated, and we got into the argument Ash versus Featherstorm again, and I looked at it and I'm like, it's fine, we disagreed at Charlotte, we can disagree here. And for him it paid off. I got absolutely annihilated by variance. I lost to Mathmex in my last round being alive, and I don't know what that deck did, but literally there was nothing I could do. Also, every single time I had call by the grave during the tournament, they always followed with another hand trap. So I was getting annihilated by variance. It was Ash Chain Bell, or Ash Chain Call by Chain Bell, Ash Chain Call by Chain Veiler.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, no, so nothing I could do.
Shout out to Sanchez and Javi behind the camera for bunking with me. Also with Donnie and Jad.
Yep.
Shout outs to Nick Jettison because he asked me to shout him out.
Yay.
I see you, Nick.
Jeez.
Shout out to the Gainesville folks. Shout out to Adrian God Wallace for always watching over me in all my matches. Shout out to Midwest Gaming. Yeah, sorry, that's a big one. I don't have the jersey on, but it was good seeing everyone since that I haven't seen them since Charlotte. sorry to Joe Dietrich for not being able to make day 2, or not make top 32. Almost, very close. I know he has it in him for next event, so I hope the best. Yeah, and yeah,
Joey D.
Joey D.
Oh, your best friend.
All right, this is like a 30-minute deck roll, probably.